that down, let's talk about this, shall we? Well, over in the DC universe, James Gunn is obviously getting ready to launch the new DC universe with Superman, but there are other films coming, including a Supergirl movie. We've got a Clayface movie coming, and at some point we're going to get a Brave and the Bold, a Batman film. They're working on a Wonder Woman script, a lot of stuff happening. But a lot of people have been wondering, okay, Batman Brave and the Bold is coming, but when are we actually going to get Batman on screen? Not the little silhouette that we got in the animated show Creature Commands, but like literally, a lot of people are thinking, I don't believe this at all, and I've said so, but there's a lot of people who believe that at some point, maybe it's a post-credit scene or something like that, Batman's going to show up there. Maybe it'll be certainly in this Clayface movie they're saying they're doing, right? Batman's going to show up there. Maybe he's not going to show up till Batman Brave and the Bold. Well, James Gunn is apparently putting all that to bed, because he's saying, if you think we're going to see Batman in Clayface or in Superman, probably not. This comes to us from Superhero Hype, where James Gunn says the following. James Gunn recently took to Threads to promote his appearance on the DC Studio Showcase podcast, where he discussed the upcoming Superman flick along with his future plans for the DCU. In the comments section of the Threads post, one user asked him straight up about Batman's debut, writing, "Is it still the plan for Brave and the Bold to be the live-action introduction to the DCU Superman?" To which James Gunn simply replied, "Yes." There you have it. Our introduction to a live-action Batman is not going to be until Brave and the Bold. Now, this may surprise some people, but James Gunn's, it's seemingly his creative North Star when it comes to this cinematic universe has been, don't do things until they should be done. I don't think James Gunn is going to rush out and cast a Batman to drop in the Superman movie or to drop into the Clayface movie when they don't have a finished, completed, ready-to-go idea about what Batman Brave and the Bold. His thing is, we'll cast it when we have 100% clear vision of exactly what the script is, what this character is, how he's supposed to be, and then we'll know which kind of actor we should get to cast in it. James Gunn isn't going to just write, well, let's just cast some guy as Batman, and then we'll make him fit into the Batman we want, just so we can put him in a post-credit scene or have him show up for 5 minutes in Clayface. They're not at a stage where they're ready to cast their Batman. Or maybe they are and he just doesn't want to reveal it and he just wants to save Batman until Brave and the Bold. But it seems to me, Rob, when you literally have a Trinity character like Batman, maybe the most important comic book character out there, I'm sure it's up for debate, you don't introduce him in a 5-minute scene in a different movie. This is a character you introduce in their own movie, I think. So I'm not really surprised. I think a lot of people will be surprised to hear that he's not going to cameo in Superman or Clayface. I'm personally not surprised to hear it. I don't know. What do you think about James Gunn's comments? And do you believe him? Like maybe it's a misdirect. What do you think?
Well, I was convinced that Batman would show up in this Superman post-credit scene or something just to lead you. But I think that's probably incorrect. I think, though, that what James Gunn is saying is exactly correct. Because look, people forget they did chemistry tests for this movie, for Superman, for a long time before they cast it. They had many actors come in and read together. They put actors together with other actors. And you can tell. There's a clip online of David Cornsweet from Pearl, the movie Pearl, where he's talking to, Mia Goth. And you can see, as an actor, David Cornsweet, I'm not that familiar with his other parts, but his vocal quality, that guy is Superman. And when they found him and when they were testing him, it probably, James Gunn, having known and participated, and actually I did film a Superman screen test, Brandon Routh's screen test, and I knew what they went through. You can tell. There's that magic that happens. And I think that's going to be true of everybody that James Gunn casts in this universe. So they're not going to do anything half-assed. Because the character, whoever's playing these characters, you have to love them. James Gunn knows that when they were making Iron Man 1, they had Robert Downey Jr., which a lot of people were like, huh? You're going to bring him back. He's going to be problematic. They knew, Jon Favreau and Kevin Feige knew. It might have been iffy, but they knew when Tony Stark, when he did his screen test, and when you had Robert Downey Jr. playing that character, it wasn't the character of Iron Man that brought the magic. It was Robert Downey Jr. in that role.
Yeah.
So whoever's going to play this Batman character, you've got to love that guy, whether he's in the bat suit, in the cowl, or whether he's Bruce Wayne. You've got to love him. And not only do you have to love him, you have to love when he gets into a room with Superman, because as soon as they start talking to each other, I mean, that was one of the things about Zack Snyder, I thought, did a great job casting Ben Affleck as Batman. That was a brilliant thing. And I love in Batman v Superman when Batman and Superman meet at Lex's party.
Oh, that's a great scene.
I love that scene. And, that's what you want, because what James Gunn is doing, he's not just going to give you a bunch of superhero action. You have to love these characters when Lois and Clark are in a room together and she's interviewing him. That has to be just as compelling as any time he's got the suit on. And I think James Gunn knows that very, very well. And he's not going to cast anybody until he's 100%. So do I believe him? I do. I do believe him. That doesn't mean that he hasn't already cast Batman, though.
Yeah, I mean, because he could have everything. He could already have
everything. Because they did those
lined
chemistry
up.
tests.
Yep.
And I'm like, they could have found somebody.
Could have. By the way, we still don't even know if who's directing Brave and the Bold? Flash director
Matt Muschietti.
Muschietti. We don't even know if Andy Muschietti is directing, because remember, Peter Safran said we got to get the finished script over to Muschietti, and then we'll see if he's a fit for it and if it works. So I remember I said like 3 or 4 months ago, I suspect Andy Muschietti will not end up directing this film. There just seems to be a bit of a disconnect between him and James Gunn at the moment, and I don't think he's going to ultimately end up. Maybe he will, and if he does, I'll look forward to it.
Yeah,
because I don't care what anybody else says. I like the Flash movie. I like the job Andy Muschietti did.
I did too.
Yeah,
I did too. I really, when we saw it at CinemaCon, I loved it.
Yeah,
I still love it.
I had I mean, it was not one of the greatest comic book films of all time, but I thought it was a really.
But it was
fun
a
movie.
lot of fun, and I've gone back and watched it. I've watched it 3 or 4 times on disc, and I enjoy it.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? James Gunn is saying that the first time we're going to meet the DCU Batman will not be until the Batman film Brave and the Bold. That we should not expect to see him pop up in Superman. We should not expect to see him pop up in the Clayface movie or anything else that's coming out. Do you believe him? And if you do believe him, do you agree with his approach? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.